Hello. Today I wanted to make a video to explain to the world community what's going on our borders here in Cambodia with Thailand. I'm going to start this off by saying the obvious. We'd reached several ceasefire agreements. The last one was hosted by Donald Trump. Apparently he thinks he's going to make a phone call and end it. It is what it is. The meat and potatoes of the issue really boils down to the fact that Cambodia has their own sovereign territory that was theirs before they even lost some due to French colonial map writing well over 100 years ago. The land that Cambodia is defending today is land that has been Cambodia's for the better part of a century as determined by the United Nations. So there is no dispute. This is a land grab. This is theft of sovereign property of Cambodia's by Thailand. Why? Well, Thailand's king is a criminal piece of crap. Try to make that sound as unbiased as I could. You'll have to forgive me. If you knew how I really felt, I don't think this video would make it long. He knows that if he's got an ongoing conflict, he can suspend their make-believe democracy and seize control of his country by way of his military. The Thai king also has Down syndrome. Okay? Their economy relies upon sex tourism. The 7th most visited country in the world. Probably doesn't shock you guys. Is the 7th most visited because it's the sex tourism capital of the world. So probably likely everybody you know who's gone to Thailand went there for that. 2, they are running international scam center rings and posting them up on the opposite sides of their borders with their neighbors. Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar. Okay? This feud boils down to the Thai parliament not passing laws that allowed gambling within Thailand. Okay? And this is also why, coincidentally, a lot of these casinos end up being scam call centers. Hun Sen allowed gambling within reason in our borders. Now, we have a limited infrastructure, and the oversight of this international crime stuff just hasn't been going on, and we don't get a lot of assistance from Interpol and the United Nations when we should. All right? Thailand, seeing that vulnerability, and being that their criminal enterprise runs all the way to their monarchy, took advantage of that. Now, since those laws weren't passed by Thai parliament to allow gambling inside Thailand, the king wants to seize control by way of his military authority and martial law, and he's doing that by creating a conflict with Cambodia. Now, their entire premise for this is just sheer and utter bullcrap. I mean, there's no legitimacy to their end of things at all. They are trying to steal land from Cambodia that's been designated by the UN as Cambodia's land, and then saying, oh, Cambodia started it. How? Any Thai soldier that stepped on a landmine thus far has done so by entering land that the United Nations has declared as Cambodia's for the better part of a century. Let that sink in. There is no dispute. This is an invasion. Now, moreover, we've had a lot of really saucy-sounding solutions coming from the global community and people who want their 15 seconds of fame. Politicians, social media personalities. I guess you could even throw me in the mix with that, although my feelings here are genuine. I live here. This is my Khmer baby. This is my home. And I will protect this place with my life if I have to, with no regret. But as it stands now, Cambodia has no choice but to defend their sovereign territory. The United States had an arms agreement with Thailand. They sold them F-16 fighter jets and other military equipment. And in that agreement, Thailand had to stipulate they would not use those weapons on particularly their neighbor Cambodia. It is also written in that agreement that the servicing and upkeep and supply of those arms needs to cease if they are in violation of that agreement, which they are. When is Washington going to enforce that? All the while trying to remain in this sort of neutral position, and I have to arouse a different part of my brain that I don't ordinarily use in logic to understand as to why the United States would be defending Thailand. Yeah, right? That's about the only reason. We'll leave that one unsaid. Right now, the United Nations has an obligation to instill peacekeeping missions upon the border to protect the sovereign land of Cambodia and the innocent civilians that are being killed by Thailand's indiscriminate use of weapons they purchased from the United States. And the United States needs to suspend any diplomatic relations with Thailand for creating this problem and committing war crimes and crimes against humanity. They have disfigured the corpses of dead soldiers, which is also against the Geneva Conventions. They took hostages after the ceasefire, which is also against the Geneva Conventions. The amount of international laws that have been broken, that is the duty of the United Nations and the International Court to prosecute and enforce some sort of atonement for, is a mute issue right now. They're doing nothing. The United States is doing nothing. And both of those entities have a legal obligation to intervene. That said, Cambodia's been on the short end of the stick with the propaganda. As long as I was in high school, I learned, this is a dictatorship and, we're evil dictator, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, living here for 6 years, I would wholeheartedly trust my life to Hun Sen. Wholeheartedly. I also know how much he loves his people. And I also know enough after being here for only 6 years that if that job was handed to me, I would hand it right back, because there's not a single other person in this country with the amount of patriotism and who's given as much in sacrifice as he has for his people. And today, Cambodia is now faced with a David versus Goliath task of defending what's theirs from people who have come to steal it as a political distraction, which it resonates all too familiar with the crap that we have heard and seen from the West and Israel. Where's Thailand getting their plays? From the people you voted in office. So I'm talking to you guys in America too. It's time for the world community to do something. And we will defend what's ours until the very end. This is my house. Don't forget that. Don't forget us. And today you're going to hear it all. You've heard it all. That's it in a nutshell. Paraphrased just a bit and in my own style. So there's no ambiguity at all whatsoever to the world community. These are facts. Wake up, people. Do something before it's too late. Saksa bye.